Dogs are known for their loyalty, trust, and unconditional love, but sometimes they may not feel the level of trust we expect from them. Whether it's a behavioral change, a lack of affection, or signs of anxiety, it's crucial to understand that trust takes time to build and maintain. If your furry friend seems distant or uneasy, it may be a sign that they don't fully trust you. But don't worry, just like any relationship, trust can be rebuilt. In this video, I'll talk about the 10 signs that show your dog might not trust you and, more importantly, how to restore that bond and create a stronger, more trusting connection with your pet. As much as we love our dogs, sometimes they don't show us the same affection, and we might not always understand why. Building a strong bond of trust with our pets is so important for their happiness, and ours too. So, if you've noticed your dog acting a bit distant or showing signs of discomfort, this video is for you. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand why your dog is acting a certain way, but also what you can do to rebuild that trust. Without wasting much of your time, let's dive into how you can regain your dog's trust using the steps. Step 1. Lack of eye contact. The first sign that your dog may not trust you is a lack of eye contact. Dogs use eye contact as a way to communicate and build a connection with their owners. But if your dog avoids making eye contact, especially when you're calling their name or trying to engage with them, it could be a sign they don't feel comfortable with you or the situation. Some dogs may feel threatened by prolonged eye contact. In the wild, direct eye contact can be seen as a challenge or a threat. So, your dog may avoid looking at you if they're unsure or frightened. Now, it's important to note that this is not always a bad sign. It could also mean your dog is just being passive. But if you notice that they never seem to want to make eye contact, it could be a sign of distrust or discomfort. How to fix it? To rebuild trust through eye contact, try to make it a positive experience. Instead of forcing eye contact, create moments where your dog feels comfortable enough to approach you. You can use treats to encourage them to look at you, and then reward them when they do. Start slow and positive, and make sure your dog is relaxed. Gradually, as your dog becomes more comfortable, they'll start seeking out your eyes as a way to communicate. Patience is key here. Don't force the interaction. Step 2. Fearful body language. Another common sign that your dog doesn't trust you is fearful body language. When a dog is scared or anxious, their body will often show it. Tucked tails, crouched bodies, lowered heads, and avoiding certain areas can all indicate that your dog is feeling fearful or uncomfortable. This is especially noticeable if your dog has previously been relaxed in those situations. For example, if your dog used to love being pet in a certain spot, but suddenly shrinks away when you try to pet them, it could be because they associate you with something negative. Fearful body language is a clear signal that your dog feels unsafe or threatened by you. It might not always be something you're doing on purpose, but a previous incident or a lack of trust can lead to these signs. How to fix it? To help your dog feel more comfortable, you need to be gentle and patient. Avoid pushing your dog into situations that make them anxious. Try sitting down at their level and letting them approach you instead of chasing them. Use calm, soothing tones and allow your dog to come to you when they feel safe. Start slowly, reintroducing positive experiences like giving them treats when they come closer or allowing them to explore new areas at their own pace. Over time, this helps reduce the fear and reestablish trust. Step 3. Aggression or growling. One of the more serious signs your dog might not trust you is aggression or growling. While dogs can growl for many reasons, when this behavior is directed at you, it often means that they feel threatened, scared, or are trying to establish dominance. If your dog has never been aggressive before, but suddenly starts growling or showing signs of aggression, this is a major red flag. Aggression can be linked to past trauma, anxiety, or poor socialization, but it can also be a sign of fear or insecurity, especially if your dog feels cornered or trapped. If your dog is growling or acting aggressive, it's crucial to avoid physical punishment. This can escalate the situation and make your dog more fearful or distrustful. How to fix it? To fix aggression, you need to create a calm and positive environment. Never punish or reprimand your dog for growling. Instead, address the underlying cause of the aggression, whether it's fear, anxiety, or territorial behavior. Start with calm training sessions, reinforcing good behavior and rewarding non-aggressive actions. Enlist the help of a professional trainer if necessary. It's also important to avoid situations where your dog might feel trapped or threatened, such as cornering them during play or forcing them into uncomfortable interactions. Step 4. Avoidance or hiding. Another sign that your dog doesn't trust you is when they constantly avoid you or try to hide. Dogs that hide under furniture or retreat to their safe spaces may not trust the situation or the person they're avoiding. This often happens when they're feeling overwhelmed or scared. While some dogs love their cozy spots, if your dog is hiding excessively or refuses to come out when called, it's a sign they're trying to distance themselves from you. This can happen if they're afraid of being hurt or have learned to associate certain actions with negative experiences. Avoidance isn't always about mistrust, but if it happens regularly in your presence, it's a sign you may need to work on rebuilding the relationship. How to fix it? Start by creating safe spaces for your dog where they can retreat when they feel overwhelmed. Avoid chasing them or forcing them to come out. Instead, try to create positive associations with you by giving them treats or toys when they come out voluntarily. Don't rush the process. Give your dog the time and space they need to feel safe. Building trust means allowing them to control the pace of the interaction. Step 5. Tail wagging but not really happy. Now, a wagging tail might seem like a sign of happiness, but it's not always a good sign. If your dog's tail is stiff, held high, and wagging quickly, it could be a sign of tension or anxiety. This kind of wagging often occurs when your dog feels conflicted. Perhaps they're unsure about you or the situation. Dogs communicate with their tails, and not all tail wags are created equal. A relaxed tail wag is typically seen in calm, happy dogs. But when the tail is stiff and the dog's posture is tense, it's a sign they might be unsure or not fully trusting. This type of tail wagging is often mistaken for friendliness, but it's really a sign that your dog's trust is compromised. How to fix it? To address this, you'll want to focus on calming your dog and making them feel safe. Slow down your interactions, avoid sudden movements, and give your dog some space to relax. Over time, as their trust grows, you'll see a shift to more relaxed, happy tail wagging. Step 6. Not coming when called. When your dog refuses to come when you call them, it can feel frustrating. However, it's also a sign that your dog may not trust you completely. If they consistently ignore you when called or avoid you, it may indicate that they're not confident in the relationship or the situation at hand. This can happen if your dog has had negative experiences in the past or hasn't been trained to respond reliably to your calls. While this may seem like an issue with training, it's also an issue of trust and comfort. How to fix it? Make sure to retrain your dog in a positive way, using treats and praise to encourage them to come to you. Avoid calling them in situations where they might feel trapped or overwhelmed, and instead, try making coming to you a rewarding experience. Step 7. Unwillingness to be handled or touched. If your dog pulls away when you try to pet them, or if they show discomfort when handled, it's another sign that they may not trust you completely. Some dogs are more sensitive than others, but if your dog has always been affectionate and suddenly withdraws from physical contact, it's worth paying attention. This can be a sign of past trauma, pain, or simply a lack of socialization, but it can also indicate a lack of trust in your intentions. Physical contact should always be a positive experience for your dog. If they're uncomfortable, you need to take a step back and rethink your approach. How to fix it? Be gentle when interacting with your dog and respect their boundaries. Only touch them when they come to you and never force physical interaction. Start with soft strokes or pats on areas where they're comfortable. Over time, your dog will associate touch with positive experiences and become more comfortable with you. Step 8. Lack of interest in playing. Dogs that are usually playful and excited about toys may suddenly lose interest, and that can be a sign of trust issues. If your dog used to eagerly play fetch, tug of war, or any other game, but now seems uninterested or reluctant, it could be because they're feeling disconnected from you. A sudden disinterest in playtime can indicate that your dog feels emotionally distant or anxious, which is a sign that trust has been broken. If your dog is no longer engaging in play, it's important to address the underlying issue, whether it's anxiety, fear, or emotional disconnection. How to fix it? Try reintroducing playtime in a low-pressure environment. Avoid pushing your dog to play if they're not in the mood. Instead, make it fun and lighthearted, and let your dog approach play on their own terms. Step 9. Excessive barking or whining. Excessive barking or whining can be a sign that your dog is anxious or trying to communicate their discomfort. If your dog suddenly starts barking or whining more than usual when you're around, it's an indicator that they may be feeling stressed or worried about your presence. Dogs often bark or whine as a way of expressing stress or fear. If your dog is constantly making noise when you're around, it may be because they don't trust the environment you've created. Addressing excessive barking takes patience, but with the right steps, you can help your dog feel more at ease. How to fix it? To reduce barking or whining, work on desensitizing your dog to the things that trigger them. Calm training sessions, consistency, and offering rewards for quiet behavior can help. It's important to stay calm and collected, as your dog will look to you for reassurance. Step 10. Overly submissive behavior. Finally, overly submissive behavior is another sign that your dog may not fully trust you. While some dogs naturally have a submissive nature, if your dog is constantly rolling over, exposing its belly, or cowering in your presence, it's likely a sign that they feel insecure or frightened. This kind of behavior indicates that your dog might not feel safe or in control of the situation, and they're trying to appease you. While this might seem cute, it's important to recognize it as a sign of fear or discomfort. How to fix it? Instead of reinforcing submissive behavior, build your dog's confidence through positive reinforcement and consistent training. Offer praise and treat. The end. There you have it. The 10 signs that your dog doesn't trust you, and the ways you can start fixing the situation today. Remember, trust is built over time, and it takes patience, consistency, and love. If you've noticed any of these signs in your dog, it's not the end of the world. You can absolutely rebuild that connection. If you have any questions or need more advice on specific behaviors, drop a comment below, and I'll get back to you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with other dog owners. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Please, keep loving and caring for your furry friends.